Our new session, as I mentioned, and here we go. So my theme this week, and actually those of you that were on the meditation this morning, some of this might be a repeat for you, but it's good to hear this several times. My theme this week is resilience. And you guys know this. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but the practice of yoga and meditation help us build a deep inner resilience. And I know that I've spoken to many of you through email or chat, and you've said you're so thankful during this time that you have a practice that you can fall back into, a practice that serves as a life raft for us in many cases. So we know how much this practice is supportive of our mental and emotional, physical and spiritual well-being. So resilience, what is resilience? It's our body and brain's ability to handle stress in a positive way and to recover more quickly from adversity in our life. It's usually developed in childhood through a supportive family, but if you didn't have that experience, the good news is that you can still develop it as adult. When we feel resilient, we see ourselves as someone who can learn and change and grow, someone who can respond skillfully to stressful events. And we also can cultivate self-compassion and true self-acceptance when we're resilient. We don't beat ourselves up so much. The good news is we are wired for resiliency, and it's part of our human nature. And the key word there is nature. So nature in itself is so amazingly resilient. And we see this right now with the emergence of spring. And you see what's happening. The trees are budding, the flowers are popping up, and everything is growing back after a cold, dark winter. Nature just has this ability every year. It bounces back, thank goodness. And so this is the same for each of us. No matter what we're going through, we have the capacity to grow from it and to our potential. These are no doubt stressful times, and we know that all of us have experienced and lived through other stressful times. Maybe you've lived through a divorce, or maybe you've lived through the hardship of a financial hardship. Maybe you've had a health crisis or gone through a betrayal, or maybe you've lived through the death of a loved one. All of us have gone through difficult times, and we will continue to have them. So we want to keep cultivating this sense of resilience inside of ourselves. So last thing I want to say here is stress is usually always portrayed as the villain. And we know that accumulated stress is what causes dis-ease. So these practices help us release that stress. But some stress is necessary, very necessary for our growth. There was an experiment done in back in 1980, and they were creating a biosphere, which is a closed structure to see how living systems interact. And what they found was, they were doing this for the sake of space colonization. And what they found was that this experiment only lasted a couple years because all of the trees were dying. And they were like, we have plenty of light, we have plenty of water, what's going on? And what they figured out was the trees didn't have any stress. There wasn't, because it was a closed structure, they didn't have wind to blow through. So the trees didn't have the stress to build up the heartwood, the core of the tree that makes it strong and resilient. And so they died. And so we can think about that for ourselves, like right now and beyond now, we're going to have these stressful times. And again, we want to stay strong in our core so that we can withstand the winds that blow us around in life. So how about we center? I invite you to take a nice seat. I'm just going to stay right here in this position. And during the centering, I'm going to bring my bowls in tonight, and I'll be curious to know how you hear these. If it sounds all right, but we'll give it a try. So with your, go ahead and let your eyes close, and we'll move into that place of your internal environment. And take a moment to drop attention into the physical body, specifically down to your feet, your legs, your pelvis. Just inviting your awareness to begin to settle into the lower region of your body. This begins to root our awareness down into the lower extremities, which physiologically is very calming. Feel your legs and your seat connected. Our resilience is based on connectivity and our ability to be in the present moment. Begin to feel your spine as it rises up, and let the shoulders soften and your face soften. And then open your ears to hear any sounds in your environment. Turning attention now into the breath. And let's receive a deep breath in and slowly release it out. And another breath in, receiving, and exhale, giving it back out. One more breath. Exhaling fear, doubt, worry. And then please join the hands in front of your heart. We bow. Honor yourself for showing up this evening. Sending out a virtual, energetic welcome to all of the yogis in your community here. We're practicing together. We ask for blessings on this practice, and may it be infused with grace. And then lifting your head, release your hands, let your eyes come open. So I'm assuming you can hear me okay, and we're going to go ahead and begin. If you would come to, let's see where we're going. Where are we starting tonight? We're going to start on our backs. So let me adjust this just a little bit here. Sorry about that. There we go. Now my head won't be chopped off. All right, so come on down to your back. We're just going to start right in with the hips and low back. Once you're down here, just take a moment. Inhale, lift your arms up and stretch them over your head. Reach really long and feel your ribs slide up away from your pelvis. And then bring the arms back up and place the palms on the ground. Inhale, lift your pelvis up, rock your shoulders side to side a little bit, draw them underneath you, and just anchor down into the feet, the inner edges and the outer edges. Receive a breath here. And as you exhale, lower your pelvis down. Arms reach up again over the head. Stretch long. This time, find thumb to thumb. So interlace your thumbs and try to pull your thumbs apart. Just try to pull outward a little bit with your arms. And then release and bring the hands back down to your side. Lift your pelvis once again. Shoulders can rock under you. Feel as if there were a block between your knees, drawing inward energetically with your legs. And again, just a good imprint with all parts of your foot, each foot. And then slowly let your spine roll down, meeting up again with the floor. Please cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And you can stay here or bring the legs towards your chest to see what your hips would like this evening. And once if you've chosen to bring them into your chest, rock a little to your right. So you have the left ankle crossed over, rock to the right until your right elbow touches the floor. It kind of stops you like a kickstand. And then just try to widen your left buttock to the left ever so slightly. Just a little widening there. And as you hold here, tune into your breath. And then please come back to center. Place both feet on the ground. And now second side, cross your right ankle over. Decide if this is where you want to stay right here, or choose to bring the legs in. Either is fine, make it yours. Flex the right foot, flex both feet actually, and then roll a little to your left until your left elbow stops you when you're kind of halfway between on your back and over on your side here. And then do your best to just ever so slightly try to flare your right buttock to the right. Dropping into the present. You can always find that in your breath. And now slowly come back to the center and release. Stretch both legs long on the mat. Stretch your arms over your head and just feel your ribs draw up away from your pelvis again. Flex your feet. And then slowly rolling up now, bring the arms over your chest with an inhale. Exhale, roll up slowly through your spine, coming all the way up to reach out over and just do a gentle forward bend here. Maybe you're holding your feet, maybe your shins. Try to stretch your chest forward, heart forward, and then just pause here. Anchoring the back of your thighs down, anchoring the back of your calves down. And then slowly sit up, stacking your vertebra, come to a really tall position. Arms float, inhale right where you are. Exhale, slowly roll down, 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 and extend the arms back over you. And then circle your arms down to your sides. Bend your knees again. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Then we're going to do a variation this time. So bring the legs towards you. Hold on to the back of the right leg for just a moment, just a gentle coaxing of the legs into you. Now shift your hands and hold your left foot and left knee. So one hand is on your foot, one hand is on your knee. And then keeping that right where it's at, if you can, to start to extend your right leg out. This is like air pigeon. So the right leg can go out whatever height you want it to be at. It can go a little lower if that feels right. And then from here, lift your head and shoulders up off the floor. So again, it's just like pigeon, but you're on your back instead of the opposite. So hold here. Yeah, and you could make variations. Maybe it feels better to go out to the side. You could do that. And then bring your right leg back in. Lay your head down. Receive a full breath. Release it out. And place both feet down. We'll switch sides. Right ankle crosses over. Draw the knees in. And now you're going to switch and hold your foot and your knee. And then explore extending. You might even just take your leg up when you can explore anywhere in between so it feels right for you. And then lift your head and shoulders up off the ground. Start to awaken through your abdomen, your core, holding here. And come on back down. Release, bring the leg in, head down. Take a deep breath in. Release it. And now place both feet on the ground. Extend your legs long again. Stretch your arms over your head for another roll up. Inhale the arms over your chest. Exhale as you roll up to your feet. And again, stretch forward, pausing here. So if your hamstrings are tight, maybe you back up here a little bit and just work more on lengthening your spine and reaching forward with your chest as opposed to rounding. So see what works for you. Just hold here for a few more breaths. Anchoring the back of your legs down first and foremost. And then slowly rise. We're going to transition now to a downward facing dog. So tonight's class has lots of interesting little couplets, things that are together. There are no sun salutations tonight. We're just going in all different patterns to really create some new neural pathways in the brain and opening you up in some different ways. So bring the hands in front, but down dog will be familiar. So lift on up to dog. And right out of the gate, separate your feet as wide as your mat. Go into a big dog status. From here, bend your knees generously and then lift your gaze ever so slightly. Look at your thumbs and keep pushing your thighs back without straightening your legs. Widen your upper inner thighs, widen your knees a little. And you know the low back, we're going to ask you to bring a gentle lumbar curve and then draw your belly up. Move your shoulders forward a little towards your wrists so the arms stay in a good, strong position. Now slowly, slowly, slowly straighten your legs. And as you do that, lift and flare all 10 toes. So it's a very slow unfolding process. It's like the flowers right now are just slowly coming up. The trees are slowly budding. We're emerging out of the stiffness. And then lower your knees down to the mat. They're going to already be wide. Bring your big toes together, sitting back to nest inside of a child's pose, and just feel yourself connected to the mat and connected to your breath. I mentioned earlier that our resilience is based on connectivity. The ability to stay present when struggles are knocking on our door. Let's receive one more full, nourishing breath. And then lifting on up, coming back to a regular down dog now, so the legs aren't as wide. And we'll begin with an extension of the right leg coming up. I want you to hold here for a bit. Hold and extend. And focus on your left thigh. Push your left thigh back a little bit more, your left hip back a little bit more. And then draw up through your abdomen. Anchor your right hand more, and then see if you can lift your left fingertips a fraction off the floor. Maybe even bring your left hand to your tummy. Like you can go back and forth and play with it. Like, ooh, don't give up. Hug to the middle with everything. That's where the strong heartwood is. And then bring it back down, leg down. Awesome, let's do the other side. Lift your left leg up. Now it's easier because we know what's coming. Hug your legs towards each other, that's gonna help. Push your right hip back and then draw up through your abdomen. Do almost a little baby cat pose. And then play with just unloading your right hand. Maybe you start here and then you think, oh, if I can make it there, maybe I can touch my stomach. Maybe I can hold it on my stomach. Don't give up. You're strong, you're resilient, you're persistent. All right, and then bring it on down, knees to the mat. Move your body in a circle here. Just kind of shake that out. Move in a circle. And then please reverse your circle. Coming back to center, lifting up to downward facing dog again. Pause here. Little tiny bend in your knees. And then inhale, glide forward slowly into plank pose. Exhale, lower down slowly. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale down. Pushing back, downward facing dog. Deep breath. Slight little bend in the knees and invite a lumbar curve. And now lift the right leg up and take the right leg into pigeon. So we've prepped your legs for this already. That's how we started. So bring the right knee up towards your right wrist. If pigeon is not, if your knees are not a fan of pigeon, you can always go back to your back again and cross the right ankle over the left thigh. So from here, I want you to stay upright in this pigeon. Try to flex your back foot, turn the toes under, and then just start to twist and look a little bit over your right shoulder. You're still in that uplifted position, and just looking over, maybe you'll get a glimpse of your back foot out of your peripheral vision. Keep hugging your back inner heel towards the middle of the mat. It might want to flop out, so keep it stable. And now from here, as you turn back center, we're going to sit onto our right buttock. So just shift your weight over onto your right bum and then actually come down onto your right forearm. Now, you're going to bend your back leg, reach back with your hand, and just see about bringing the heel towards your bottom. See how that feels. And you could try rolling your left shoulder back more, lifting your chest up a little bit more, and just making it a gentle twist as you look up. Extend out through your left thigh and left knee. And now from here, children, we're gonna sit up and swing the leg around into a twist position. So you'll sit hopefully on both sitting bones, but you're going to feel more weight on your right one. If this full cross is not doable, you can put your foot on the inside and then lengthen up nice and tall, and exhale, twist to your left. Let there be a gentle hugging of your front leg. So gently draw it towards your chest, while at the same time, push your front knee into your forearm that's holding it. So the forearm is pulling in, but the knee is resisting against that a little. And then drop your left sitting bone down closer to the floor if possible. And then turn your torso back to the center. We haven't done this one in a long time. Get down, James Brown. If you're new, here's what you do. You're going to go to your right, put your hands on the floor. You might want to watch if you've never done it. Just keep turning to the right. So your feet just turn to the right, 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 and voila, there you are on the second side. Get down, James Brown. And here we are. And so if it's comfortable, more comfortable, put your foot on the inside or cross if that feels right. You're going to take your left hand or left forearm on the front thigh. Inhale, rise. So we're just reversing the pattern that we did on the first side. And just turn to your right. There's a drawing in with the forearm. There's a resisting back out with the leg. And keeping those two actions steady, draw the right hip bone down. So ground down, and then from there you can lift up and twist. One more breath. And then turning back to center. Now we're going to take the top leg, bring it around as you come onto your left forearm and hold the foot and bring the heel towards your heel. Bring the heel towards your heel. That would be your butt. Bring the heel towards your butt, your bottom, your bum, your derriere, whatever you want to call that thing. Get up off of that thing. There's a song around about that too, isn't there? Oh, it feels so good. Just keep extending out through your thigh. And now we're going to gracefully move to a pigeon from here. So extend your back leg long. You're going to come up and you have to just scooch this front leg over to the left side of your mat by your left wrist, or go onto your back if that feels better. And then here we're going to stay upright, back toes curled under, hug your legs towards the midline, and then turn and twist and look over your left shoulder. Notice where you feel this. I feel it really deep inside in my hip flexor here, but maybe that's just because I'm super tight there today. And then please come back to the center. From here, we're going to lift up and step back to downward facing dog. Pedal your legs out here. And then from here, walk your hands back to your feet. Pause here for a moment. I'll invite you to bend your knees, lay your chest on your thighs, and let's open up through the shoulders more. So interlace your hands behind you. Let your head release and stretch your knuckles up and over. And now from here, release your fingertips down to the mat. Bend your knees. I'm going to turn forward here so you can see. It's been a while since we've done this. The acronym of SITO, S-I-T-O, shins in, thighs out is what that stands for. So either take your hands right on the center of your shin bones here, and you're going to press in with your hands, or I like to wrap my forearms there. Just make sure you're below the knee and give a good squeeze with the arms. So knees are bent. Squeeze your shins firmly towards each other with the strength of your arms. Feel that hugging in, that stabilizing. And now keep that and try to broaden your knees and your upper inner thighs apart. Then keep those two actions. You're squeezing your shins in, you're broadening your inner thighs out as you straighten your legs. Your pelvis is reaching towards the ceiling. Your head drops and goes inward. You're turning inside out. Squeeze the shins in, broaden the inner thighs apart more. And then release your fingers to the floor. Hands come up to your thighs and slowly rise. Fantastic. So if you have two blocks, now is when you might need them. We're going into a variation of Parsvottanasana here. So the blocks could be handy on either side if your hamstrings are shorter or a little tighter. So you'll start with your left foot forward and then step the right foot back and a little bit over to the right. So as Desiree would say, it's like you're standing on railroad tracks as opposed to a tightrope. And then from there, it allows us to turn the pelvis a little more straight ahead. So both hip bones are doing their best to face forward. So we really want you to connect this with your breath. Okay, when we are feeling stressed in our world, you guys know this, that bringing our attention back to the breath is such a great way to calm and soothe and help us find that inner resilience. So I'll ask you to take your left hand behind your back, and your right arm is going to extend upward. So legs are strong and straight. Push your pelvis back a little bit and draw your rib cage back. So inhale, lifting up and arching back. And then exhale, just halfway forward. So we're coming out here where you're parallel to the floor. Push your pelvis back here. And now 4 count breath up. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, little back bend and hold the breath. Exhale forward, 2, 3, 4, pause and hold as you push your pelvis back. Again, inhale up, 2, 3, little back bend, hold the breath, and exhale. Come all the way down now. Either touch the floor or that's where you can grab your blocks. Regardless of whether your hands are on the floor or the blocks, I'd move the blocks back a little bit. And so see if you can turn your fingertips backwards on the block or the floor. And now look at your front foot. Make sure the big toe side is firmly anchored, and especially focus on your inner heel. Really ground that. It'll activate through your hamstring a bit more. Now with your hands, for extra bonus, try to pull your hands forward as if you were trying to pull your mat that direction. Try to pull your hands forward. Your elbows might bend and then bow deeply over the front leg, or just keep the hands on the blocks. You can kind of recreate the same feeling. Whew. Draw the left hip back a little. Engage your abdomen and breathe into it. And then begin to lift your head. Bring your hands up onto your hips and see if you can keep the legs strong and steady as you rise. I hope you felt something there. I certainly did. Step forward. Actually, I'll turn the other direction. So right foot forward, left foot back, and let the back foot turn slightly out, okay? Again, you're on railroad tracks and the hips turn forward. Now we'll put the right arm behind the back and the left arm comes up, and just pause in this starting position. Are the legs steady and strong, the muscles engaged? And you take the ribs back so the core is engaged. Then inhale and 4 counts forward. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath and push your pelvis back. Inhale up, 2, 3, 4. Little back bend as you hold the breath. Exhale forward, 2, 3, 4. Pause, use your abs, draw the ribs in. Inhale up, 2, 3, 4. Pause. And exhale forward, 2, 3. This time we're going to come all the way down to your blocks or the floor. Take a moment to notice the foundation. So front foot, inner edge, really root the inner heel down to. And now from here, you can bring the fingertips on the blocks or the floor, turn them backwards, and try to draw the fingers forward. Try to drag them forward as you bow deeper. You can always just keep your hands on the blocks and find that place of deep sensation, but where you can still easily breathe. And pausing here for 2 more full breaths. Drawing your right hip back a little. And then lift your head as you walk your fingers forward. Find your strength in your legs, hands to the hips, and come all the way up. Good job. Stand on both legs and just shake them out a little bit. All right, so we're moving on here to, so you can utilize your blocks if you'd like. We're gonna step to the front of your mat, come forward, reach down, touch the mat or your blocks, and then step your right leg back to a lunge. Coming upright, take a moment, hug your legs towards each other, and then interlace your hands and do your best to roll the shoulders back. Keep the ribs collected back into the body, and then start to lean forward. You can decide how much you want to go. You can do a little bit of lean. You could start to go lower and hover over your front leg. Your fists, your hands are pressing upward, and squeeze the fingers and try to pull the fingers apart. Try to pull them apart. And then come back upright. Can stay straight, or you could start to slide your hands down your back leg a little bit. Opening. Breathe space into the chest, broadening the shoulders. Lunge into the front leg. And then release your arms, like wings. Touch back down to the mat and step forward, please. Pause in a forward bend here and just feel your breath. And even as you pause, just think of a time in your life where you've been resilient already. It's good to remind ourselves of where we've been and how much we've lived through, what we've gained from that. Stepping your left leg back to deep lunge. Get your balance and then come upright and interlace your hands behind you. Shoulders roll back, ribs draw back, and then you start to explore. Where do I want to go? I want to lean a little bit forward or a lot. Keep pressing firmly into the ball of the back foot. Keep rolling the shoulders up, and as we did on the first side, squeeze your fingers and isometrically try to pull them apart. And breathe fuller into your ribs, your chest. We're trying to expand the upper body here. Lengthening long through your spine. And then slowly rise. From here, take a moment to stay steady, and then you could choose to bend backwards, lunging deep into the front leg. Think of your spine like a fountain, water rushing up and then back, an arcing motion. And slowly come up and release down. Awesome. Step back to a downward facing dog. And please place your knees down to the mat and come back to that little nest of child's pose for a few moments. Reconnect with the breath. And then let yourself rise, lift up. Well, this next little set will have a half moon and Ardha Chandrasana within it. So if you are a block lover for that one, I would put a block out here on the front edge of your mat, so it will be there. So we did something similar to this last week, but we're changing it a little bit this week. So just make up your own version if this one doesn't work for you at all. So come to your knees and then interlace your hands behind your head. So we're going to try our best to stand up and come back down without using our arms, but if you need to, certainly do that. So press the head back into your hands. That will help you stay connected to this strong part of you, this core. Shift the weight onto your left leg a little more so you can free up your right leg to bring it forward. And curl your back toes under and lift yourself up to this high lunge position. Now remember to press your head back a little bit into the headrest of your hands. Good. And now from here, we're going to transfer our weight onto the front leg and slowly stand up. Bring the knee up. Awesome. Just hold here, pressing the head back, hugging the legs towards each other. And now from here, we're going to place the left foot down on the floor. Lean forward. You get to free the hands and reach out to your block and lift the back leg up. Now the right leg into half moon. Take a moment here to engage your abdomen, and then you can keep the hand on the hip, or you can reach to the ceiling to see what feels right. Extend out through your spine and back out through your lifted leg. And then even push a little more tension into the bottom leg. Can you root your left foot down into the mat even more? Take your top hand to your hip. Level your pelvis as you lower your back foot down to the floor. We're just going to retrace our tracks. Are you ready? Come up. Shift the weight onto your right leg. Hands come behind the head. Step your left leg slowly back to high lunge. Aha, about fell over there. And then from here, slowly lower the back knee down. You're welcome to hold a wall if you'd like. And then see if you can bring the foot on back. Fantastic. If you want, just crawl forward and put your block on the other side, knowing where you're going now. And shift the weight to your right leg. Bring your left leg forward. Curl the back toes under. I like to move this front foot out a little bit and then come upright to crescent. And push your head back really strong into your hands. From here, we'll just shift the weight forward, push off, bring the right leg up. Standing in your strength, even on one leg. And remember, if you get blown around, that's just going to make your heartwood stronger, that core of you. Place the right foot down, free the arms, reach down to your block or the floor, and lift the back leg up. Turn the hip out. And you can choose your position with the arms, connecting to your breath. Breathing in the energy of resilience. And now we'll start to retrace our tracks. So bring the top hand to your hip, bend your standing leg and just lower the left leg down, come upright. Hands behind the head, lift the right leg. Slowly take the right leg behind you, coming to high lunge or crescent. Ooh, that's a challenging transition sometimes. And then lower the back knee down. And bring the left leg back. Very good. Yay. All right, so the rest of the class is going to be down on the floor. I do want you to, I think it'd be easy to show you this in a kneeling, oops, about lost my earpiece, kneeling position. So take your arms in front of you, please, and make fists. Excuse me, need to get a sip of water. So make fists, and then two positions, internal rotation and external rotation. So turn your arms inward, of course, that's internal rotation, and then turn the arms outward, external. Internal, do it again, And then as you go external, feel your shoulder blades come onto your back more. One more time, feel the shoulder blades widen, feel the shoulder blades come back. So it's a simple little movement, just rotating. And we're gonna do this on the ground now with a block under our forehead. And oh, let me show you these positions. So you won't be able, I just want you to be able to keep your head down and not have to look up at the screen. So it's gonna be here. So the block's gonna be under our forehead. So first position is here, inner and outer, inner and outer. Then you're gonna open to a V, then you're gonna open to a T, and then you're gonna come back by your side like the letter A. And at some point I'll say, turn your fingers down forward. That's what I mean. And then a bend. All right, so that gives you a bird's eye view of where we're going. So this is very subtle movement, but it's really beneficial for the strength and mobility of our shoulders. You might hear some clicking, some sound in the shoulders, but just be mindful. It's not hurting anything. You just notice you might have musical shoulders. So let your forehead, if you don't have a block, you could put your head on the floor or maybe the edge of a blanket or a pillow, just so you can lift your head slightly. So forehead resting on something, maybe even a couple books stacked. Legs are long. And then let's start with extending your arms straight out and make a fist. Then rotate your arms inward and just keep your armpits really rising. This isn't easy. And then rotate your palms out, external rotation. And rotate your arms inward, lift your elbows a little, and rotate the arms outward. Now go to a V position. Fists, still have the hands and fists, rotate inward, internal rotation, keep lifting the arms, external rotation, internal rotation again, external, and now go out to a T position, straight out from your shoulders, internal rotation, external rotation, feel your shoulder blades come onto your back more. Once again, internal rotation, external rotation, and now bring your arms down beside your pelvis. And from here, keep your fists rotate inward. You'll feel the head of the arm bone drop down a little, and then rotate external. You'll feel it lift. And one more time, inward, hang with me, and outward. And now here comes the interesting position. So open your fingers, spread your fingers, and then turn the fingertips down and start to slowly bend your arms. Don't let your hands touch if possible. You're really working on strength of your upper back. Bring them right, hovering beside your chest, not touching if possible. And now place the hands down. Legs are strong, lift the shoulders, and then lift up to a baby cobra here, not too high, pause. Pressing the palms down, try to pull your hands apart and try to broaden through your collarbones. Breathe into the upper chest. So you're keeping the inside part of your hand rooted while trying to pull them apart. Oh yeah, and then come all the way down. Move the block, stack your hands under your forehead, and pause there for a moment. Whew, that made me sweat. All right, so this next set, we did some of it last week, but we're gonna add on a little bit. So here we go. So come up onto your elbows into Sphinx Pose and pull your elbows back as you stretch forward through your chest. This good old Sphinx Pose. So the elbows are drawing back. Now curl your toes under. Lift, start to roll through your spine. So chin draws down, ribs pull back, and then start to lift your pelvis, lift your thighs, stay on the knees. And once you're here, looking down between your arms, try to drag your elbows and your knees towards one another. Draw in, you should feel it light the fire of your core as you hold here. Breathe, you are strong, you are resilient, getting stronger every day. Now we're going to start to release in a moment. Not quite yet. If you can help it, draw elbows and knees towards each other. Start to lift your gaze slightly and go really long with your spine. One more breath. And then lower down your thighs, pelvis, belly, ribs, chest, and hands. Stack and bring your forehead down and pause. And now a review of last week. So bring your right hand and right beside your chest and come up onto your left forearm here a little bit. I just want to make sure your forearm's turned in. Then you can lower your chest back down. Now simply bend your right leg. Oh, my knee just popped. Bend your right leg and you're going to press into the arm and just start to roll a little bit onto your side and let the leg drift back behind you. So I did lift up a little bit here more onto the forearm and the leg is just reaching back. Ah, good. And then just come right back. Bring your pelvis back down and now switch your arms. Right arm forward, left hand beside your chest, please. Lift your chest a little, bend your left leg. Slowly roll to your right side and look back or look up. And then come back to center. Awesome. So we're going to switch again. But this time, I'm going to take your right arm out to the side. So it's not straight out from your shoulder, but just a little bit above your shoulder. I feel like I should show you this first because you're going to be in a slingshot position. So I don't think we've done this before. So take a quick peek at your screen. I'll do you a quick preview here. So I think you'll appreciate that. You're going to be in this position, hands slightly forward, and everything else is the same. Bend, and we'll get a chance to hang out here and just feel this for a little bit and some variations. But here's what I want to show you. At some point, if you want to go there, I'll invite you to slide your hand down and find your foot. If you don't find it, no worries. And then you can kick your foot and start to twist and turn a little bit more. So that's available if you want to go there. So I'm coming back now to pick you up and take you with me. So take your right arm out to the side, palm face down. Left hand is bent by your chest. Bend your left leg, please. And then just see where you're at here. If you have a shoulder challenge right now, just always ease into these things and just see, can I still breathe here? You can stay right here and just slightly lift your chest a little. That changes things. Breathing, smiling. And if you want to try the slingshot, just slide your right hand down, find your foot, and kick your foot strongly into your hand as you twist just a little more and look slightly up if possible. And then make your way back onto your stomach. I hope that felt good or interesting at least. Let's do the opposite side now. Take your left arm out to the side, slightly forward of the shoulder, slightly above the shoulder. Right hand at your side. Please bend your right leg. And then move slow. One side might be completely different than the other. Ooh. So you're gonna just let the leg drip back behind you in a little sling here. And you might try just slightly lifting your chest. I'm really pressing into my right hand here to help that. And press into your left hand strong too. And then if you'd like to go for the full slingshot, you could just wiggle your left hand down. Maybe you'll bump into your foot. And then turn and open, look up. Ah. And make your way back to your stomach. And take a moment to push back and up into a child's pose. We've been down there for a while. Oh, nice relaxing breath deep into the base of your lungs. And then please lift up, and one more time, slide onto your stomach, please. So come on down. From here, let your forehead rest on your hands. And just very simple movement, but we're going to hold it a little bit. So we spend so much time focusing on the core, this part, but we know that the back is just as important. It's part of our core. So I wanted to spend a little more time on that tonight. So from here, engage your abdomen and your buttocks, and then lift your right leg up off the floor and simply just hold it. You might feel your hamstring, your right gluteal, all the way up into those strong muscles of your low back. And lower the right leg down. Engage your abdomen and tone your buttocks a bit, and then lift your left leg, please. So not only are we lifting, but we're extending it. So it's energetically extending out of the leg, of the socket. Breathing as you hold, cultivating deeper and deeper layers of strength and resilience. And then slowly lower. And now for a moment, just let your heels rock out and in, or let your legs shake a little, or let your pelvis rock side to side. Just something to push the little reset button. And then we're going to do that once again with just a small change that makes a big difference. So this time we'll be lifting the right leg again, but I want you to put 99% of your focus in the left leg. So forehead on your hands, engage both, first draw your abs up and then engage your buttocks slightly, and then press the tops of your feet down really strong. The left leg, really press it down strong, and keep pressing your left leg down as you now lift your right leg back up again. Feel how different it is, hopefully, with the help of your left leg staying really rooted and grounded. Holding there, breathing. Left leg is so strong, pressing into the earth. And then lower your right leg down. Second side, last time, press the right leg down really strong and let that assist you in lifting the other leg. Again, it doesn't have to be super high. Press your right leg down more. I'm feeling the top of my right foot and my toenails really pressing into the mat strong. And holding for 3, 2, 1, and release. Hands by your chest, push up and back and come to a seated position. Oh, okay, so last week I think we did this. I can't remember. I know I did it in some class. Come to your elbows for a moment. And now we're going to ride our bicycle forwards and backwards. Okay, so lift your legs, engage your abdomen, and then you can just take little pedals, just going forward here. Russ and I finally got our bikes out this weekend, blew the dust off of them, pumped up the tires, finally went for a ride. It felt so good, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it today. Now reverse, ride backwards. Go backwards. Feels awkward. My knees are popping and popping. All right, we have that forward and backwards. Okay, so now let's come to boat pose. So someone named this, Brigitte, one of our students named this the paddle boat. I love that name. So this is officially the paddle boat. First, we're gonna do the rolling boat. So bring your legs up, bent knees, okay, and keep a hold of your legs. Stay in this shape if you can, and gently roll back just to your shoulders touch, not your head. So I like to tuck my chin a little, and then just a gentle roll, and come right back up. And a gentle roll, and right back to boat. And a gentle roll, and right back to boat. So try to keep your body in a rounded position here. One more time, roll, and back to boat. All right, now we're gonna add those legs. When we come up, we pedal forward, and when we go down, we pedal backwards. So we're gonna go down and pedal backwards, and up and pedal forward. Ooh. And then reverse down and backwards. That's a hard one, I think, for my brain. And then forward, come up. Whoa. Stop, backwards, and go down, and forward, and come up. How about 20 more? Back and go down. You're turning off your screen now. No, don't go away. And back up and release. That gets you a little winded. All right, from here, bring your legs together, starting to wind down. Bring your feet, soles of the feet together, and then just rock from buttock to buttock. Just rock to one side and then the other. And then stop in the middle, place your hands behind you. Bring your feet out wide. Think windshield wiper, but seated variation. I invite you to prop up through your spine, and then let both of your legs fall to the left. So both of your legs fall to the left. I'll go right. And then just lift up through the chest. And then opposite side, both legs fall to the right. Lift up through the chest. Slowing the breath down now. Once again, both legs to your left. And both legs to the opposite side. And back to center. Bring the feet now back in, just a little closer to you. Bring one leg in, doesn't matter which one, just cross one ankle on top of the other, but instead of bringing them back close to your body, bring them out a little further away. You might even just wiggle your bottom back a little. Flex your feet so that you have strong ankles, and then try to get your spine as tall as you can. And from here, just listen to what feels right for you and start to hinge forward with your spine. So you're trying not to round here. It's more of a lifting and a leading from the heart forward. And then at some point you might explore bringing your hands out here and start to move your torso side to side. So you're slithering to the right and slithering to the left, and just moving side to side. Now, if you want to go deeper, certainly just lean forward a little bit more, but also think of lengthening your spine. And slowly start to come up. And just simply look what ankle is on top and switch. Lengthen tall and start to lean over a little if that feels right. And you can decide how far you want to go. Just sway side to side. And up you go. Bringing your feet out in front of you and slowly start to roll onto your back. Let's go back to the very first thing that we did, just 2 times. So take your arms over your head here and combine them together. This time lift your pelvis up while your arms are over your head. And imagine with your hands now grabbing onto a bar or something that you can stabilize. So keep energetically reaching up through your arms as you pull your pelvis away from the arms, so we're trying to create a little traction feeling, you're lowering the spine, the arms continue to reach high, and then come, once your pelvis is on the floor, make an arch in your low back, big curve, big space. And then just start to roll through that again, go the opposite. So press the back gently down and roll up through your spine. Lift the pelvis, slightly lift your chin. And then especially on the way down, extend your arms longer, and it's like your pelvis is being pulled away from your arms. And once you arrive with your pelvis down, arch the low back, big curve there. And then float the arms up and down to your side. And as we move into Shavasana, if you need to make any adjustments, do so. But if you can stay here with that nice curve under your low back and then stretch your legs out, it's an optimal, healthy position for the low back. And let your arms rest at your sides, sliding into a deep rest. Taking time to get comfortable. And begin to drop your awareness into the flow of your breath. And tonight, I might invite you to focus on a heart-centered breath. Imagine that you are breathing in, excuse me, straight into the heart, and you're exhaling out of the heart. This enlivens and awakens the heart's intelligence. More and more research now that says that the heart is the main brain. Way more information moves from the heart to the brain than the other way around. So in your kind, strong, compassionate, resilient heart, breathe in to the center of it. Breathe out from the center of it. And as you are breathing, you might add the simple phrase, mantra of, I am resilient. You might even say, I am on the inhale, and resilient on the exhale. Allowing the breath and the mantra to be an anchor for your attention. Inhaling, I am. Exhaling, resilient. Breathing into the energy of resilience right now. Imagine it dissolving every fear, doubt, worry. Starting to float your awareness back to a natural breath. Bring awareness to your fingertips and start to stretch your hands wide, fingers wide. And then starting to do the same with your feet. Just flex the feet and flare the toes and the hands at the same time. Maybe start to roll through the ankles and the wrists. And stretching your arms if you wish. Bending your knees when you're ready towards your heart. And drawing the knees towards the heart and rolling to your right side. And press yourself on up to your seat. When you arrive at your seat, sit well and close your eyes. Starting to lift your hands and join them together in front of your heart. Bowing towards your wise, strong, resilient heart. Deep down, you know you have the capacity to get through anything. History has shown you that you can make it through difficult times, times of struggle. You've experienced dark times, but you have also had glimmers of acceptance and joy and hope, or something else while going through times of struggle. And you've gained strength and insights and resilience from your past experiences. Resiliency, I imagine, would say, if it could talk, you've got this. You can navigate through this. You can grow through this, whatever this is. Bow to the light in each of you with much respect and much love. Namaste.